Welcome to the school committee meeting of September 18th, 2025. This meeting will be conducted in a
recording in progress.
All school committee members are in person, though some of our guests will be participating remotely. This meeting is open to the public and will be broadcast by ECAT. If any members of the public here in person wish to make a comment during public comment period, you will be invited to do so, and we ask you state your name and address for the record. So the first item on the agenda is the student representative to the school committee update. So we have Veronica Shenoy joining us this year as our student representative. Welcome.
Thank you.
We met with our student advisory committee members earlier this evening, and we will have Lindsay Solomon, who will be reporting on OA, Brendan Dolan at EMS, Leah Marie Avora at RO, and Bobby Anaki at Blanche Ames. So we look forward to everyone's reports.
Thank you. So I am Veronica Shenoy, like was said. I'm a senior at Oliver Ames, so I will be this year's student representative to the school committee. We already introduced school assignments, but I just want to say on behalf of all of us and the whole team, we're really excited for the year and to collaborate with the school committee and hopefully provide student perspective and student voice to this board. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is vote to approve out-of-state overnight trip. Dr. Cabral.
Thank you. The close-up trip to Washington, D.C. is coming in March, and we have Courtney Kenny, I believe, online joining us to discuss the details of the trip and answer any questions you may have about it. While we're waiting for her, they are anticipating about 20 to 30 students, and the trip is set to take place from March 1st to March 6th. Hello, Ms.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Please go
Oh,
ahead.
thank you for having me. Am I coming into the description? Sorry.
No, that's okay. We just introduced you, so please go right ahead.
Oh, thank you. So my name's Courtney Kenny. I've been a social studies teacher here in Easton for 18 years. And if all things go well here in the next few minutes, this will be my 16th trip taking kids on the close-up trip. And it's really become a passion of mine. Over the course of my experience on this program, so much has changed in the country in general, but Close-Up has really just always maintained their mission of civic discourse. And I just think in today's day and age, modeling that and getting together with people across the country and learning from each other and doing it in a safe environment and being taught not only the historical issues, but also the tools to engage in conversations with people who may think differently from you is just really invaluable. So keeping with tradition, we have done a lot of research over the years in looking at the best week for kids to be able to go that has sort of like the least impact on their schedules. And we've landed now probably on at least 10 years, being the first week in March. Last year, we had 31 students attend. The year before that was 22. The year before that was the year we had 48. But we do sort of always land in somewhere of 20 to 30 students. And I just feel very fortunate and happy to take any questions about the program if there are any new faces that would like to know more. But my hope is that we can offer this opportunity for students in Easton again.
Thank you. Any committee members have any questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
So the cost to students is around a little less than 2,000 each.
Yes. So I always say these days are always hard to answer when it comes to questions, because in order to officially get that number, I have to enroll and put the week in and say that we want to move take a flight from Providence and, pick the hotels that we've liked the most. So that was our estimate given when I submitted our dates, but I don't have that concrete number at this point until I officially register, which of course I don't do until I get the school committee approval.
And
Go ahead, of course.
does that include all meals and?
It does. Yep. So it's an all-inclusive trip. I mean, when you bring high school kids, we always encourage them to take a little extra money because it's one of those scenarios where if you want to buy an extra water when we're at a museum or whatnot, but like a souvenir, they do come home with souvenirs as well. But it's 3 meals a day, which I generally do really find are filling enough for high school kids. But typically most kids bring a little bit of spending money, but you do not have that needed at all. All of your basic needs and meals are met with that fee.
Great, thank
Great,
you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I do have another one, but
yeah,
I don't
go
want
ahead.
to steal all the
No, go
questions.
ahead.
Did you probably said this and I missed it, but how are the students chosen or how do they apply or?
Oh, it's open to everybody. So there are school districts that you need a recommendation from a teacher. In my opinion, I think my colleague, Mr. Auger, is there as department head. We've never really seen a need for that. Obviously, you have to meet the protocols, meaning your academic standing or your conduct. You can't be on any type of social or school probation to go, but we open it up every year to all 4 grades. It's pushed through the history teachers, and the reason that we had always sort of leaned in that way before we put out a big mass call is because it is an academic trip, and when that message comes from your teachers, that is met with a little bit more sincerity, that it's not just a sightseeing trip. Like, they are doing work, they have a workbook, they take notes, they have conversations. So that message is sort of easier to convey. And because kids have to take a history class, and the seniors tend to not go, even though it's open, but it's in March of your senior year, and we just tend to not always get a good population of seniors. It does tend to be predominantly sophomores and juniors who come, but every year we've taken a freshman, every year we have taken a senior. So again, there are no qualifications. We do open it up to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I wish I could go.
Yeah, I know, it sounds great.
It is awesome.
Well, thank you so much for hosting that. It sounds like an amazing trip. So I will take a motion to approve the out-of-state overnight trip to Washington, D.C.
Second, Loomis.
All right, I'll make a motion to
Oh,
approve the
sorry.
out-of-state, that's okay,
So
out-of-state
moved.
overnight trip to Washington, D.C.
Second, Loomis.
All in favor? Great, thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms.
Auger.
Kenny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Auger.
Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion and vote to approve contracts, Conica, Natural Resources Trust, Industrial Burner, and Wally. Dr. Cabral?
Thank you. Our Director of Facilities and Operations is here to answer questions if you have them. I am just going to briefly speak about the Conica lease agreement. The details of that are not any different than the other contract you already saw, but we are aware that people wanted to review the legal language that still needed to be fixed, and so you have that contract in full this evening. The numbers are all the same. It is a 5-year contract. The 5-year contract is about a little over $27,000 cheaper per year than a shorter 3-year contract, and so obviously we want to take the least expensive option. It has been extremely stressful beginning of the year working with what we currently have until we get this in place, but they are promising us a very quick turnaround within 1 week. So as soon as this is all set tonight and you feel comfortable with the 5-year and with the legal language, we want to have them working on it literally starting tomorrow, so that everything's in place and everybody can have much more access to what they need, frankly, to do their job. So unfortunately, the technology staff, as you're aware, was reduced this year. And so the only way that we could have the staff all together remove the printers was during the summer. And then now we had to go through a bidding process on this contract because of the cost, and now the signing of the contract. So the timing was a little bit off because of that, but they are going to be in days. So we are happy about that and look forward to that, unless you have any questions about this or objections.
Thank you.
Sure.
Committee members have any questions? Jim?
May I just ask, I thought we voted last meeting or the meeting before about giving Jackie the authority to sign this contract 4-1? Is that, why, I guess, is it coming back to us?
You did, but because there was any sort of discomfort about it, we just wanted to make sure that you guys all felt comfortable and had everything that you needed.
And did we know last time it was a 5-year contract, or did we?
I don't know if it was discussed specifically, but that's also another good opportunity. We want to make sure that you know that. Yep.
Any other questions, Jim, Lauren, Kelly, Colleen? Go ahead.
Okay. I think You could have probably just signed this, it sounds like, but.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, so I will take a motion to approve the contract with Conica. Do I have a motion?
So moved for sale.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Great, thank you. Dr. Cabral?
The NRT is our annual sheep pasture contract. Assistant Superintendent Pruitt works with our colleagues over there in setting up the curriculum. They did a wonderful job again this year. Again, we can answer any questions on that if you have them. That contract is for $28,260.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Just to re-anchor, this is a reduction from what we've done in the past with them.
Yes, the contract in the past has been around, it averages around $90,000.
Okay.
So this is a significant reduction due to our budget cuts.
And so now it's just it looks like grades 1, 2, 4, and 5, so we don't have grade 3.
Or
Correct.
kindergarten and preschool.
Or six.
Or sixth, yes.
We
So
had
reduced-
pre-K, K, and six in third before.
Okay.
And we worked with NRT, and they also looked at their pricing per student and were able to make some adjustments to the educational partnership that we have. So there is a reduction in some of the services, but we still thought that it was important to go there. I will also let you know that $20,000 of the dollars is not coming out of the operating budget. We do have the Oaks Ames Trust that $20,000 is allocated for this purpose, for this kind of purpose for education. So this has traditionally been used for NRT, and so we will continue to use it for NRT. So it's a minimal cost in comparison to what it used to be.
Okay.
Really nice that we
Yeah.
have that.
That is a huge benefit. So the total cost you said was $28,000. I'm looking at it here, and of that $28,000, we actually have $20,000 coming from that Oak Ames Trust.
Correct.
Okay. And with that, we're able to then provide a field trip educational activity
Yes.
for kids in those grades.
Yes, and that would be $8,260
Okay.
From the operating budget.
from the
From-
operating
that's
budget
fantastic.
for close to 1,000 students.
Okay. That's great.
Lauren, you have a question?
Because this was cut from pre-K, third and sixth, is there a alternate STEM kind of activity that those
Yes.
students will be doing in their
Yes, yeah,
classrooms?
there's a lot of additional opportunities for them. We specifically chose those particular grades because they're the transitional grades going into the other buildings. We also looked at the 4th and 5th grade being really important at RO because of the MCAS, the 5th grade science MCAS. So it's a nice build up for 4th grade going into 5th grade. Principal Getchell and Principal Cedarbaum had a lot of weight into this decision as far as which grades. So we met with them, with the NRT and Director of Curriculum and EL, Ann Weintraub, and made these decisions as to which grades would be best serviced.
Any other questions from committee members?
It says the first payment is due on August 30th. Because we're at the end of September, is that a concern, or is there any penalty?
No,
related?
there's no penalty related.
Okay.
They've been great partners with us.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve the contract with NRT.
So moved for sale?
Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis?
All in favor? Great, thank you. Dr. Cabral?
Industrial burner, that is who we have been using for several years, $45,000, if you have questions for Tony about that.
Any questions from committee members? Nope. All right, I'll take a motion to approve the contract with Industrial Banner.
Burner.
Burner, sorry. Wrong typo. Yep, I'll take a motion.
So moved for sale.
Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis?
All in favor? Thank you. Dr. Cabral?
And Wally is Wally Computers, that is for $35,500.
Any questions from committee members? Okay, I have a question. So And number 1, it says this contract is for the procurement of the following products and/or services off the ITC 73 contract.
That's the contract, that's what we buy off of for state,
State bidding.
procurement, state
Okay.
biddings, yeah.
Okay, all right.
The pre-vetted vendors.
Okay, great. Just wanted to confirm that. Any other questions?
I had one, which was, what was the contract last year? Like, is this consistent with prior?
We've actually been spending a lot more on technology, so this is greatly reduced.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, I'll take a motion. Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
Can you just clarify exactly what this contract is for?
So Wally is a reseller for the educational products that they need for IT and for the schools. So they resell, my understanding is the way it works in that business and in this industry, is it's a reseller, and that's who Olivia has to go through. The IT director has to go through to get it.
A reseller for IT.
Yes, equipment.
Yep. That's right, more equipment.
So the manufacturer sells to Wally and Wally
Wally
sells to
sells.
us.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
So it's
A resale.
refurbed IT equipment.
It's not
No.
refurbed,
No, he's the
No.
vendor for
He's the
the
vendor.
products.
They just act as kind of the middleman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does
So
that, is
it's
that-
new
yeah.
equipment.
It's new, it's new equipment.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Anything else? No? Okay. I will ask for a motion to approve the contract with Wally.
So moved, pursue.
Do I have a second?
Other second.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kopass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item, discussion and vote to approve the IXL learning contract. Dr. Cabral?
Sure. So this is a curriculum contract for $28,125. I will note that it does still say 50 Oliver on there. We have a lot of vendors that still do that. We constantly remind them. It does not affect the legality of the contract. We'll just keep reminding them. And Assistant Superintendent Pruitt can answer any questions you have about this contract.
Jim, did you have a question?
It just says quote valid until August 6th, 2025. So is this quote still valid?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from committee members? Nope. Okay, I will take a motion to approve the contract with IXL Learning.
So moved, pursue.
Do I have a second?
Other second.
All in favor? Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the NEASC presentation. Dr. Cabral.
Okay. So we have been talking about the NEASC accreditation process. We are having a visit this year from the NEASC team, and Principal Kavanaugh, along with the co-chairs of the visit, Marissa Souza and Chris Koutros, are here this evening. They have a presentation for you about the accreditation, so you're aware of what will be happening for the visit, how you may participate, or what might be required of you. And so if you want to be in the audience, they have some slides to share.
you.
Thank you.
Principal Kavanaugh?
It's all lit up. Yep. Stand next to me here. I don't want you to be stuck. There we go.
Thank you for having us. I know that I presented last fall to let you know that we were starting our self-reflection of our NEASC accreditation, and now we're at the point where we're less than a month away from our visit. So Chris Koutros and I are here to just present to you a reminder of what the process is, what to expect for the 2 days they will be here at all of our Ames, and the findings of the self-reflection that we did over the course of the past year. So this is what we're going to talk about. What is NEASC? What was the process we went through? What to expect in the visit? And then the actual updates of our self-reflection. So what is NEASC? NEASC is the oldest regional accreditor in the US. They do both private and public schools. And they do international independent schools all around New England and around the world. They focus on 5 standards. This wheel represents the 5 standards with student learning at the center. It is the biggest of the standards with the most substandards, and obviously why we're all here is to make sure that our students are learning and finding success here at the high school. And then each of these standards has at least 1, if not 2, what they call foundational elements. They're the most important standard that the committee is looking for at our school to see that we are meeting the needs of kids in our building. So NEASC is actually a 10-year cycle, and if you want to just flip through these, Mrs. Pruitt, it starts with the self-reflection. That's what we're doing this year. And then they come for their collaborative conference visit, which is October 6th and 7th. Then they give us feedback on our self-reflection and the priority areas and goals we've set for ourselves to accomplish over the next 2 years. And then they return for our decennial accreditation. They're here for a few extra days. Thanks, Chris. And then we get a full report back, and over the next 8 years, we continue to report back on our progress and our goals, and then the cycle begins again in 10 years. What we love about the NEASC process is the emphasis is about growth. It's not about necessarily meeting the standards, but identifying the areas of growth you have as a school and then making a plan and having NEASC support you in that plan in order to meet those goals. So to the next one. And we get the autonomy to identify those priority areas. We get the feedback from our staff, students, and parents to label what it is that we need to improve on. And then basically the committee is coming in to confirm that the priority areas we've set are what they're seeing as well. It's so nice to have a set of fresh eyes come into your space and give you that feedback. And the value of accreditation really is that it's just an affirmation, it's a reaffirmation of us that, and to our school community, our taxpayers, to you as school committee members, that what we are focused on and our goals and our priority areas, as well as our strengths that we have as a school, are really focused on what the essential components are to a comprehensive high school education. So where are we in this process? Last year, Chris Koutros and Marissa Sousa, along with our steering committee of 12 members, went through the self-reflection process, gathering evidence of our how we've met the standards in NEASC, and then putting together our own self-reflections of our areas of glow and grow. We met with our NEASC chair last week to plan the visit, and now we're putting the final touches on that visit with a schedule that we will share with you once it's complete, and then they'll come October 6th and 7th, and then we'll get the report within, I think, like 6 weeks to 8 weeks after the visit. So now we're going to go over what the visit looks like. This is a sample schedule that they provide to us. So they're here for 2 days. There are student meetings, parent meetings, meetings with district administrators. They do classroom observations, meetings with teachers. And then the bulk of that is done on the first day. And then the second day, they are working on writing their report, and they will let us know if there's additional information that they need to finalize it. Then I meet with the chair, and they go over the findings of their day and a half with us. And then I share that out with the faculty at the end of the day. So Chris and I are now going to go through what we found in our self-reflection. Oh, nope. Yes, exactly. Okay. So first, these foundational elements that I just mentioned. Standard 1 has 2. So are we providing an environment that meets the social and emotional needs of our students and staff? And we found that we are meeting that. The next 2 standards are the only of the foundational elements that we're not yet meeting. One is the vision of the graduate. The vision of the graduate is very similar to the foundational transfer goals that we have as a district. What do we envision? What is the portrait of the graduate of Oliver Ames have that's not in the curriculum standards, right? So communication skills, resiliency, global citizenship, and understanding of civics. Right now, we're in the process of what we've done is we've taken our foundational transfer goals, gotten feedback from staff and students, and Chris on another committee, Chris does a lot at our school, is working on then sharing out what we've decided our vision of the graduate should be to get feedback, and then we're going to start rolling that over the next few years. And then the second, the written curriculum, it's not finished yet. I think you guys know that we're working on PD days to make sure that we're ensuring that all of our core content areas curriculum have learning activities and learning plans that are vetted by our teachers and our department heads, and then consistently implemented across everybody who teaches the same course. However, these three standards we are meeting. So we have a growth and improvement plan. We have intervention strategies designed to support all learners. Our school site is built and supports the curriculum, programs, and services, and it's a physically safe environment. So we're really proud of all of that. All right. Am I going too fast, or am I? When we go through our ratings, there's four actually different ratings. So there's initiating, you're thinking about it, you haven't done it yet. Developing, we're working on it. Implementing, like we're actually living it. And then there is another category of transforming, which means that you're going above what you would call proficiency in that standard. And that's how we rate ourselves on each of the standards. So I'm going to go through standard 1 and 5. Chris will go through 2 and 3 and just let you know what we found in our self-report. So standard 5 is about the adequate time and funding for the facilities. So do we have the appropriate plans and protocols and infrastructures to ensure that we're consistently able to deliver the curriculum and programs and services that our students need? So this is what we learned. We have incredibly well-maintained and comprehensive facilities, including our athletics, our auditorium, our wood shop, our metal shop, our cooking class areas, things that not every high school has outside of just a typical classroom. We do have a wide range of programs and services. And then the areas of growth, which I think almost every school I've ever worked in has HVAC system issues. That's always something that comes up in surveys. Staff put in their survey that they are looking for more resources and time for PD. We want to work with Livia closely in implementing the technology plan that she's rolling out, as well as revision of our emergency response procedures, which we are in the process of doing with our central office. And then finally, we need to assign a chemical hygiene officer, which is somebody in the science department who oversees the room that houses chemicals. So those are the areas of growth we found for standard 5. All right, I'll let you go next, Chris.
So this is where it gets great to be a teacher, because it's great being at OA, and we really do a good job, we found through our self-reflection, in timely, directed, coordinated interventions for all students. We have some really great counseling programs, health service programs, and library information science programs, and that's what we saw in our strengths. We have S3 Academy, which Kelly's been doing a great job rolling out, which is now called MTSS Academy. We have H-Block, which again, Kelly did, faculty, we've been really embracing, like using that time and students using that time. And that's a place where we can provide services to students. And we, as a school and as a community, we have great connections and resources for families. Areas of growth include, so some of the library resources and support, because it was a transition year last year, a little bit for the library. We worked with Mass Library, and we're working on that. More clarity and training for co-teaching models, some teachers in the building, maybe 2 teachers, a special education teacher and a regular education teacher in the same classroom. Some of them expressed, wanting a little more training and support for that. Transparency also in the referral process for faculty and staff when we're having, students who need extra support, just making sure that the lines of communication are open is something that we were all working on. And speaking of working on things that we're doing well, last year we identified in the self-study paraprofessionals wanted some more transparency, and that's something that's been almost completely taken care of this year with systems. So we're seeing that the self-study is really a work in progress, and that we're working and remediating and growing in the areas where we aren't yet doing like the best job that we can, but maybe we were doing already a great job, but just needed to do a few extra things. In professional practice, this is really about having a growth and improvement plan that supports, our school community, also having reflection, collaboration, and professional development. So this is really like professional development, and how teachers can support students indirectly. So we have a school improvement plan, we have support teams, we have Easton University for professional development. Thank you for doing that. We have a great variety of course offerings. We have family community partnerships that are great. All these are strengths of our community, that make it a great place to work in. Ongoing curriculum writing is an area of growth. Systems for the use of data. It was faculty really feel like a little bit like they're cut off from data sometimes, and so that's something I know we are probably going to be working on in the future. And we have a new data system in the district too.
It's going to be really helpful.
And then, as a teacher, student learning is why I show up to work every day. And this is the biggest one. You saw it was the biggest gear. That students are assured consistent learning outcomes through curriculum. They have great experiences. They actively participate in authentic learning experiences and practice the skills and habits of mind that will make them successful in the future. And so at OA, we really do a great job with a lot of this. We have, last year there was Kelly brought in professional learning community time, so teachers are working on goals. We have the curriculum that we've written. I remember my first year I was hired at OA, Dr. Thrall was rolling out UBD, and we've been living it ever since, and the UBD stuff that we've written is really high quality. I presented it at national conferences, so I know it's great. Active learning and student agency, we try to bring that into the school. Regular engagement, technology integration. We have a lot of great things that we're doing. The things that we need to grow on is curriculum and that vision of the graduate we were talking about, that we need to make sure that our curriculum and student experience lines up with what we want students to be able to do when they graduate, and that it has to be really explicit so students know exactly this assignment will help you in this way. And so it's really like a lot of scaffolding support for students and making sure that they know what their educational experience will let them do in the future. We also have some uneven documentation around, I think we actually modified that language a little bit since the last presentation, but systemic and school-wide student opportunities to guide their own learning, that's one of our school improvement plan goals.
Yeah. Great, and then so finally, this first standard is learning culture. So that's that we have these shared values and drives, and the vision of the graduate is really the core piece of that, this learning culture standard. So our strengths, we have a very positive, safe, and respectful and inclusive environment. It's not perfect, we know that. Not every kid feels like they belong when they walk in the door, but this is an exceptionally welcoming place, I think, compared to many, many high schools in the area. I think so, especially as someone who's worked at 4 different high schools. This place is very special. And then we have professional staff and school leaders who are really committed to continuous improvement and are very reflective. Our areas of growth is obviously finishing the vision of the graduate process, which we are really in the same boat as a lot of other high schools in the area, where many of the principals in my job are doing this work right now as well. And then finally, challenges in the provision of allocation of learning resources. So that's, we don't want to not acknowledge the fact that our budget is going to impact and has impacted the ability to provide resources. And so we're going to name that in the report, even though we're going to focus on things we can control, which most of the standards we can without, with budget cuts. It still is something that we want to make sure that we're acknowledging that that's a challenge that the district is and will face in the future. Okay, so the priority areas, what goals we're writing for us, we chose 3 goals. One is the vision of the graduate completion. The second is completing our curriculum units. And then finally, meeting the individual needs of student learners and students leading their learning. So this happens in our building, but we want it to be part of the lived curriculum in every single course. And we're not quite there yet with that. All right. That is our NEASC self-reflection in a brief summary. Do you have any questions for us?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. We appreciate it. Do committee members have any questions for Mrs. Kavanaugh?
I have one.
Go ahead, Kelly.
The one that I'm kind of trying to go to it on my slides here, but the one that you made progress on, that you basically scratched out, the more transparency for paraprofessionals. How are you measuring that? So and how do you, of course, take those interim temperature checks of the areas in which you're making progress?
Okay. So for this one in particular, it was really clear from the paraprofessionals the information that they needed to better support the students. So every SPED liaison created basically a folder for every kid with that information and shared it with the paraprofessionals so they could access it. We get that feedback because during H block once a term, the SPED coordinator meets with the paraprofessionals and goes over with them what's working, what's not working, what can we do to support you. And so that's how we gauge that this change made a difference for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
So this may be a silly question, and just a layout aesthetic question, but on the visits, on the visit page, what do the letters mean?
I'm sorry, that's left over from when I did a presentation to the faculty.
Okay,
That's our schedule
cool.
At Olive Reigns, we were trying to figure out how
I was
everything
like
would
going
work.
through, looking, I'm like, what are the letters? So like, I'm just gonna
G
ask.
block first on the first day.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And like I said, we're actually just, Chris did a great job creating some different schedule options, and we're wrapping that up with our NEAS chair this week, and we'll let you know when they're going to be here. And if any of you would like to serve on the parent committee, let me know. I'd be happy to have you join us.
I just want to add in that I really commend the high school for tying the vision of the graduate to our transfer goals. Our transfer goals we wrote as a curriculum leadership team about 5-6 years ago, and the way that they are taking those and embedding them into the vision of the graduate is really commendable. In our units, we identify transfer goals for every single unit and which transfer goals are being focused on. And transfer goals are like our foundational transfer goals, as Principal Kavanaugh had explained. And that is consistent kindergarten through grade 12. And so they're able to see, we're really thinking about how can we make everything cohesive? And being able to see the tie from kindergarten all the way up to grade 12, and to be able to see the vision of the graduate and how that lives in elementary school and middle school is really instrumental. And when they say it's a work in progress, I really see a lot of growth that they've done in that area. And also, I think completion of units will always be on there because we are never truly completed with our units. They've made amazing progress. We will be publishing our stage ones on our website. Some of them might already be up there, but we will be doing a big announcement, a big PR event, so that it is public to the community, all of our stage ones, which is basically outlining each unit. So families and community members will know exactly what's being done in the classrooms. So that is a work in progress as well. And we have some of the one-off courses. So when a new course is developed, we have to make sure our units are completed. So again, that's why I think that completion of units will always be a work in progress.
Thank you. And I remember 10 years ago when we were going through this, I was working on the committee and I had a committee member hand me the report. Read this. That is a very comprehensive report that they do.
Yes, it
A
is.
lot of really great information, and so looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And our self-reflection as well, we can share with you once it's complete.
It's really important too that we commend Mr. Koutros and Ms. Souza for co-chairing this. It is a lot of work, Also the steering committee and honestly the entire staff. In order to really make sure that it's reflective, you want to get everybody's voice, and they were very participatory, but not to downplay their efforts. Being the chair, having done it myself, it is extremely a great learning experience, but it is a lot of work, and so we thank you very much.
Volunteer.
Yes.
So we're very thankful for that and the tremendous work they've done.
Yes, as well as you, Mrs. Kavanaugh. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. We'll let you know how it goes.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. feel like we can't all sit down at once.
Cozy.
Okay.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the vote to approve new banner sponsors. Dr. Cabral?
So for those who may not be familiar with the school committee policy that requires, that requires that any of the banners that are displayed on school property that are the result of generous donations from community members and businesses, that those businesses are first vetted by the school committee. So you have 3 this evening that are being added: Senior Aerospace, Dorenzo Charitable Foundation, and Village Ski for your potential vote. If you have any questions, Athletic Director Mary, I think she's here tonight, right?
Is she here? Yeah.
I think she's on remotely, Mary McDonald, if you have any questions for her. But that is what we're considering for you. That a game.
She's always on a field.
Thank you. Do committee members have any questions?
We're winning 1-0 if anyone cares. Boys
Thank
soccer.
you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't think boys.
Boys. No questions?
No.
Okay, so I will take a motion to approve Senior Aerospace Metal Bellows, the Diorenzo Charitable Foundation, and Village Ski as new banner sponsors.
So moved, Loomis.
Do I have a second?
First here, second.
All in favor? Thank you. All right, next item. Discussion and possible vote to approve JJIF policy to address suspected sports-related head injury concussion and JJIF-R policy to address suspected sports-related head injury concussion, second reading. So before I turn this over, I just want to remind people of the second reading of this policy, which means we can have a vote tonight if we would like. We have Athletic Director Mary McDonald here, and I believe Colleen Clark as well.
She's not. Yeah.
Where is she?
Okay.
Not yet.
And Dr. Aaron Bornstein, who is our school physician, isn't able to join us. However, I've spoken with him about this policy and about some concerns that have been raised. And I know Mrs. McDonald and Mrs. Clark have spoken with him as well. So I'd like to start by having Mrs. McDonald and Mrs. Clark discuss the policy and give us their opinion on it. And then I will discuss what Dr. Bornstein and I discussed. And Dr. Cabral, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add before.
No, that
I
was
speak?
perfectly presented.
Okay.
Yes.
Mrs. McDonald, Mrs. Clark.
Did you want me just to speak on the part about which sports were mandated that they get the baseline concussion testing,
That's part of it, but
or the whole policy?
yeah, if you could just give us how you feel about the whole policy, how it came about. I know you looked at it, revised it, and I believe you spoke with our athletic trainer as well. She had input on this.
Yeah, so basically all we did with the policy as a whole was update it to what currently we do, meaning like a lot of the technological stuff, like now the fact that we use Arbiter and that hosts all of our physicals for all of our athletes, and also the pre-participation concussion forms and everything like that is now hosted online instead of paper versions of things. Other than that, there wasn't too many drastic changes, I guess.
Okay, and can you talk a little bit about the impact testing?
Yep, so we kept that the same as we have previously, that we do baseline impact testing for all of the mandated MIA sports, which are deemed the ones that are collision sports or contact sports.
And that was in line with what other districts are doing as well?
Yep, I mean, it's kind of all over the board. Some districts do all of their athletes except unified sports. Others just do what we currently do as just the collision and contact sports. So it's kind of a mix.
And how does our athletic trainer, where does she fall within this? Like, what does she think about it?
So she said that, I mean, ultimately anyone can have a concussion. So she's like, ultimately you'd want all of our students tested, right? Like even non-athletes, because we have kids that get hitting the head in gym class or slip outside and hit their head on the pavement or different things like that. So it's like we could definitely do it. The big thing, I know the concern was raised with swim. In my opinion, I would I wouldn't just add swim in. If we want to change from, what we currently do, I would suggest do all the sports, kind of just do the contact sports or test all of our athletes. Wouldn't want to just do swim because I feel like then we're just picking and choosing which ones, we are mandating it and the others we're not,
So,
if that makes sense.
so when I talked to Dr. Bornstein, what he had told me was he felt that the risk of a concussion is low with athletes that are in sports that do not have deliberate contact. I expressed to him the concerns that were raised about other sports, especially swim and divers, although we don't have divers, right? We don't, yeah. So
Correct.
he said it's kind of a gray area. He doesn't believe there's an absolute right or wrong, but he did speak with one of the sports medicine physicians at Mass General, and she mentioned that one of the NGB athletic trainers she works with includes divers and swimmers. But he said he thinks the risk is low, but he wanted to just make sure our athletic trainer had a say in her opinion as well. So I don't know, do committee members have questions for Mrs. McDonald?
I do.
Go ahead.
What would be the cons of adding all sports? What impact does it have on the individual athlete? Like, is it a nuisance for them to get tested? Or, I'm asking because I don't know the process either.
Yeah. Yep. So the big thing would be a cost. We pay by test, so it would be an additional cost. And then in terms of taking the test, it's online. They do it online. It takes maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And we make them, mandate that they have it complete and have a valid test before they can participate in the first game, meet, or, whatnot. So those would be, I guess, the bigger cons. But like I said, my stance is it's more if the district supports it, I can definitely do it and implement it. I'm fine with it either way.
Okay, go ahead.
Besides, I see it's football, soccer, field hockey, gymnastics, ski, basketball, ice hockey, cheerleading, wrestling, baseball, lacrosse, softball. Besides swim,
What other sports? It would be golf. Cross country, indoor track, outdoor track. I think that would be it.
Do we do field?
Yeah, we do field hockey.
I'm sorry, field sport in the track portion. Do we have a number of field athletes? Do we have those who are jumping or doing pole vaulting or anything else that would, rather than just straightforward running, I guess?
Yeah, there's track and field, yeah.
So we have some that do like high jump and stuff like that. We don't do any pole vaulting or anything like that.
Okay.
So my understanding is that even if an athlete didn't have impact testing, the protocol followed, you follow the same protocol if there's a chance that there was a concussion, whether they had that testing or not. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So if they got any type of head injury, they would be treated exactly the same, whether they did a baseline concussion testing or not. So the purpose of the baseline concussion testing is just a protocol used, or basically a tool that's used after in the return to sport part of the process. So it's just a tool that the trainer can use to measure if when they retest after the injury, did they return to baseline as part of the clearance process. But even if they do, then they'd still have to go through, their symptoms and other, return to play steps, which is outlined by Mass General and, Massachusetts state laws and things like that. So it's just one piece of the puzzle. So it's not a be all end all, if that makes sense. It's just a tool that can be used in addition to the normal processes.
And so those normal processes for return to play are followed regardless of whether they have the impact testing. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Madam Chair, are we considering if we expand it to all students, it would be for the baseline test for all student athletes?
Yeah, it would be the baseline impact testing.
What is the cost per test?
Do we know? What
It's different by packages every year. My guess would be maybe an additional $1,000, roughly,
in total or?
additional to what we currently would pay.
Okay.
Per student or per?
No, total, like per year.
And
Go ahead.
the policy says that parents of students participating in extracurricular activities have the right to request it. Do we have parents requesting it today? Are students from those other activities currently getting tested through parent choice? And do parents realize that they can do that?
I don't know if they realize they can. I haven't had any. Like, it's not like there's a flock of people, looking to do it. And that's another approach I think I suggested at one point too, is we can keep it as is. And then if certain parents want their children tested, we can test those on an individual basis as well. Like that, if they're in the sports that aren't currently mandated, we could definitely do that.
That's kind of an interesting.
I see the benefit of having a baseline because you're assessing someone pre-concussion in
Right.
case they do suffer some sort of injury, right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Go ahead.
Can I make I don't know how to do this, but an amendment that we add all sports?
Yeah, Colleen, do you have any feelings on this?
Oh, I just had a thought and I just lost it. Oh my goodness, come back to me.
It's okay.
It just flew out of my head, sorry.
I guess I'll throw out the question of, I think there's an option on the table to add all sports. There's also an option on the table potentially to ensure that parents, like as part of the onboarding to a sport, are informed of their right to sign kids up, and like mandated versus making sure they're aware of this option is another component to it, because I'm not sure if we've always had this option or if parents actually know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect them to read every detail of our policy manuals like we do, but in general, they may not be aware that this is something that they could be doing.
Yeah, I think that's
As opposed to
that's
mandating.
reasonable. Yeah.
I remembered my question.
Oh, go ahead.
So if you're a multi-season athlete, do you have to do impact testing for every season, or you just do it once in September or at the beginning of your first sport and you're good for the year if you don't have a concussion?
You just do it once.
Okay.
And then right now they do it every 2 years.
Okay.
So they'd be good for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So is it fair to say that a lot of the kids who are involved in some of these non-threatening sports, so to speak, they play other sports? So you might play golf in the spring, but you might play football in the fall. So you would have already done it. So it's not every single kid on the non-contact sports necessarily hasn't already done it.
That's a really good
Correct.
point.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so are we ready to make a motion? Lauren, did you want to make a motion?
I just want to just say one thing and then
Sure.
I'll make the motion. So, I totally understand what Kelly was saying about, like, it's good that parents have that option and that they're informed.
I don't know that they know that right now. That's my sense, is that some parents don't know, and
I feel like
yeah.
parents are thrown so much information
Fair.
that this is something that is so serious that as a parent, I would never forgive myself for not knowing that I could have asked. So that's all I want.
Okay.
But, so I would like to make a, so what do I do? I would
propose
like,
to amend the
I would like to
motion.
I would like to make a motion to amend the policy that adds all sports
JJIF.
to JJIF, please. Thanks.
Okay, do I have a second?
Hamilton second.
All in favor of passing JJIF and JJIF-R with the amendment to include all sports? All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Mrs. McDonald.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
I have,
Yeah?
sorry,
No.
now that we've passed this, I should have asked this question already. Is there any situation where a parent would want to opt out and can ask to opt out?
Is there any situation where a parent would not want to have this done that you could think of?
I don't know. I mean, we haven't, like, we don't right now have, no one's ever asked to opt out, I guess.
Okay.
But so I guess that's a good question if school committee would allow that. I mean, right now, I feel like if it's the collision sports, I would say they need to do it because that's kind of an MIAA rule. But if we have it for all athletes, I don't know. I guess we'd have to kind of decide that up front because, like I said, our policy currently is that they'd have to take it prior to, being able to participate in athletics, basically. So I think that would need to be determined too of what, how we're going to go about this.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I'm now
Like just
wondering if
how
I
you
should
want
amend
what
our
you want.
amendment, which is, oh, sorry, Jim, go, because you have.
Well, I was going to suggest, I mean, if a parent comes to the athletic director requesting an opt-out, could we then consider that scenario and draft a policy, or do we need to be this proactive?
Well, the only problem with that is that when you amend a policy, you have to have 2 readings, so that's potentially 2 months before that athlete would get an answer.
And that'd probably be too late.
And if
Like they would want to know.
If they need it before they participate in the sport, they would have to wait for that.
So why don't we do this? We have a meeting on September 30th to go over policies. I can try to get together with the policy subcommittee and figure out some kind of language change, and then we can review that on the 30th. Does that sound reasonable?
Yep, that sounds great.
Okay.
Does the concept make sense so that you are informed by this whole committee? I guess my reaction, which I should have processed faster, sorry, it's been one of those days, was that if we make it mandatory for all, but with the non-contact sports, the parents have the option to opt out, then it creates the baseline net for all students, but also empowers those parents. Like I was trying to make it easy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, because right now they have the option to
Opt in, I just wanted to give the, yeah.
to opt out.
So
Why
it's
would
something
anyone
that's,
opt out? Isn't it just it's an online?
it's literally an online test, but I guess
Is it
some,
an extra cost to each student? Or
no,
is it-
no. I just don't know if anyone, it's a non-contact sport, like someone may feel that they don't want to do it or that they're concerned because their child had a prior concussion and they might, you have to clear the test in order to re-participate. So I don't know, some parents might care. I'm trying to think through it fast, which is not a very good reaction. So I'll leave it to the policy committee to think through, I guess.
All right, so.
I don't want to give people, I want to give the right to choose, I guess, is what
Okay.
I'm trying to do.
So I'm going to make another motion to table this policy until the policy committee can review the language and then come back to you all with it. Do I have a second?
Personally, a second.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking too, just for us, like a standpoint is like, I just don't want to get in a situation where, the parent just wants the kid to play. So they're like, oh, we opt out so they can play that day.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I guess.
That's
Yeah.
a great point.
So I think we just have to think it through if that's the route you want to go, just so it's not like, because we're going to say, hey, you need to take this, but you really don't. You know what I mean? I think it's just hard, I guess.
I think that's right. I think we'll just have to I'll figure out.
That's why I think maybe the opting in may be easier. I don't know. I guess you have to think about it, I guess.
All right, we'll continue to work on this policy. We'll try to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, I will do whatever you guys want me to do. I'm just trying to, make it clean, I guess. That's all.
I mean, right now we have the policy as is, so you're going by the policy as is.
Yep.
And
Oh
then-
yeah, this year will be like that anyway, because if we do want everyone to get tested, I would just need additional money to do that as well.
Okay.
Whereas, like I said, if we're opting in, if it's only, a few kids here or there, we should be okay. But that's if like a ton of people started opting in, then we would need to upgrade our packaging and stuff like that too.
Okay.
So
And
May I just-
I am very supportive of everyone getting tested. I just want to be clear on that. I was just trying to think through whether or not any parents would not.
May I just ask, we voted with this amendment, so now we have not, this is not official policy yet?
So
It
it's
has to
not
go through a
official
second reading?
policy, right? So now we're going back to the policy as it is, and we'll try to figure out how to work out this change to the policy and come back to you guys.
Okay, we don't have to vote to undo anything we just voted on?
To table, she just
She
said to
did.
vote
I
to
just-
table
yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
Table.
It's just till the 30th, so we can work on the right language.
Yeah, as long as I can get other policy people together to do it. Otherwise, it'll be a little further out. But sorry about that. Thank you, though. I appreciate your input. I'll definitely be in touch to talk about how to figure this out.
All right, perfect. Just let me know.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. Next item. Vote. Oh, hi.
Hello. Just here for the next item.
Okay. Vote to accept grant. Dr. Cabral?
Sure. So nurse coordinator Colleen Clark is here. She applied for and was awarded $33,500 grant. It's called the CSHS grant, the Comprehensive School Health Service Grant. And so she can speak about the components of that grant and, of course, answer any of your questions. Hello, Ms. Clark.
All right, good evening, everybody. So, so this was actually a grant that's been, was first applied for by Sumail in like 2018-19. It runs for 10 years. And each year we get a different amount of money. The first year it was only $5,000, and then COVID hit and the pot got very bigger. So you never know what you're going to get year to year. This year we've been awarded $33,500. In your packets, I believe you have the performance measures that they look for us to be working on with this money, and the scope of services that we need to be providing. And then what we can like actually use the funds for. We've updated health office equipment, vision screening equipment, hearing equipment, pocket talks, iPads to monitor diabetes. We've paid for a lot of professional development for the nurses. We've paid for per diem nurses to do screenings and to help out in offices. Cover for nurses to have PD, work on projects that help with our electronic health record and things like that. So it's very helpful for the health offices.
Sounds like, yeah, it sounds like it's been very helpful. That's
Yeah.
Great. Questions from committee members?
Just appreciation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
is really incredible. So I will take a motion to accept the grant from the Bureau of Community Health and Prevention with a lot of gratitude. Do I have a second?
So moved with gratitude.
All in favor? Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Okay, next item, vote to approve superintendent goals. Dr. Cabral.
Thank you. So based on several documents and meetings that we've had over the course of the summer, starting with the Department of Education evaluation tool, we have focus indicators that are identified there at the top of the sheet for you. The staff also has focus indicators from the teacher's rubric. They are different indicators, but the same number of them. Also, the school committee evaluation feedback from the spring, the leadership team survey, the results of which I shared with the school committee, and also the strategic plan. And so taking all of those documents, putting them together is what was the driver for the goals that you see before you. This was also vetted with the leadership team, and they provided some valuable feedback. Just kind of going backwards for a second, remembering that the strategic plan and all these other documents, but primarily the strategic plan leads to the superintendent's plan, which leads to the administrator's plans, which then is the on a smaller level and more specific, the educator's plans. And so these have to be broad enough that literally everyone in the district can fall under it, but concise enough that we are all working in the same direction on some key areas. Obviously, we have many other things that are going on at the same time, but these are key areas for us. So the first is on student learning. These are 2-year goals. All evaluations are 2-year cycles. And so in the next 2 years, this goal, you can see, I won't read it to you, but I will point out the salient details. This is a student learning goal. It's focusing on instructional practices and systems of support. We have the MTSS framework work that we have been doing and making sure that the instruction is culturally responsive and engaging. We're providing high-quality professional development and data-informed practices for improvements for engagement and academic achievement. Just the setup is the same, but for anyone that hasn't had me present goals before, the way that I presented, I put the DESE standard that it is in reference to, as well as the EPS strategic objective. And you can see there are some key actions and sample evidence. Obviously, this is not what it will be limited to. You saw the similar format at the end of last year, and there's always a lot more that is in there. And it's a living document. It is for 2 years, and a lot of things can happen in 2 years that change the trajectory, and we don't want to stick to something if we find a better way. And so these could potentially evolve. The second goal is the district improvement goal, and that one is focusing on the implementation of systems and practices that promote social, emotional, and physical well-being. This is based on data-driven decision-making, improved communication engagement, and inclusive operational and instructional practices. Again, it has key actions, the floor and not the ceiling, of course, and some sample evidence. And then the professional practice goal is focusing on communication. And so improving transparency, strengthening communication, enhancing engagement, deepening family and community partnerships and practices for students. And again, you have key actions and a list of sample evidence that you can expect to see at the end of the 2-year cycle.
And can you remind us again, when is the mid-year cycle review?
It's literally in 1 year.
Do I have
the halfway point of the 2-year cycle.
Questions or comments from committee members on the goals? Kelly, you have something?
I do, but I'm formulating it to come out of my head properly and after a long day. If anyone else does, they can go first.
No, I mean, these look great. I know you put a lot of thought into coming up with your goals and what you want to accomplish, so appreciate that. I look forward to seeing how this gets done over the next 2 years. There's a lot in here.
I appreciate the professional practice goal around communication and transparency. I think that will be great. And there's a lot of good action steps there. I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
Thank you. I think that's my question. And maybe it's just related to how we typically sort of manage goals. I know we would do a mid-year check-in in a year. But that being an item that I know you've been working hard on, is there an opportunity for the school committee to, as these things are, so one of the things is the sample evidence will be like visit schedules and some of the format.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you just.
One of the things that you had said was that, and the sample evidence is like visit schedules and the formats you're going to use for some of these things. Is there an opportunity as you formulate that plan for us to learn more about how you're doing some of the things that are listed under your key actions? Because I think it's such an important area. It would be great to have like a little bit of a walkthrough of how you're collecting some of this information, how you're in, like one of the things that struck me in here was more relationship building with staff and families, hosting more events. Like it would just be great to see sort of a summary of some of how those things are coming together so people understand too how that engagement is happening.
Of course. Some of them have already started. Awesome. I had a September, I won't say newsletter because we got feedback about kind of too many newsletters, so it's sort of a shortened version. It's my attempt at short, I think I call them snippets or something like that, like short pieces of information. And the first survey of the year, I try to keep them to 5 minutes or less because obviously staff is very busy. It's not mandatory, of course, but I appreciate the feedback. got a lot of great feedback on that one already. So those kinds of things will continue. I also have started my quarterlies. Those are with the principals. It's something that I have been doing, but we're just changing the focus areas. We're looking at the focus indicators. So I had my first one with Blanche Ames already, and I have one per week with each of the principals. And something that I wasn't able to do last year, but I've done in all the years prior, is I have faculty lunch opportunities, and at the secondary level, secondary student lunch opportunities. Last year was particularly difficult to get into schools. This year is proving to be the same, but so far they've been scheduled, and we haven't canceled anything so far, so that's good. And so those are just some of the things that have started already. But certainly, yes, at any point, if you have any questions, I can either do a presentation or I can answer any questions about specific things that have been happening. I'm hoping you're just going to see them also on your own as you are recipients of the information as well.
Right. And I think it's what is helpful from my standpoint is just even some of those examples, like the student lunches and things are things we might not always know about. Or even some of the faculty lunches, there are things that, at least in my time on school committee, I haven't known about. So hearing about those moments, I think, are important because it gives us another lens into the
No problem.
just the overall professional practice and communications. So I appreciate that.
May I just add something?
Yeah.
Sorry. My chair's very squeaky, so I turned this off. If I could also add, under the direction of Dr. Cabral, as it states in her goals, Director Davidson and I are also doing visits.
Okay.
So I'm doing monthly visits with the principal, going through, looking at also the focus indicators, but really focusing in on student engagement. We're really narrowing it down. We're setting goals for the visits. We are having follow-up conversations, and Director Davidson is walking through with the special ed coordinators. So we have calendars of those that would then become part of Dr. Cabral's evidence as well. We debrief with Dr. Cabral as well on our observations.
That's super helpful to understand.
Yeah.
I think these are the things that are helpful to know even as the journey's being planned out rather than like at the evidence moment, because I think it does help us better understand the rhythm that is occurring and some of the shifts that are occurring in terms of communications, because you said, like, I've added these to my goals as things that we're adding. So it's, I find that very helpful to hear, and I had no idea you guys were doing that, so I appreciate knowing about it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so I will take a motion to accept the superintendent's goals. Do I have a second?
Toddler second.
All in favor? Great. Thank you, Dr. Cabral.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, vote to approve budget adjustment request. Dr. Cabral?
Again, same as the last meeting, we're bringing you budget adjustment requests, and our finance director, Joe Spagna, is here this evening as well. We did have an opportunity to talk about what I brought up last time. Again, just like last time, I'm asking it to be on a future agenda item. This is not for conversation this evening. However, this is another example where we're moving $1,500 from one DESI-coded line to another. In this case, it's Assistant Superintendent Pruitt, so you can ask her any questions if you'd like. But I have talked to Director Spagna about if we can be on a future agenda to talk about perhaps a percentage of the line to be pre-approved before purchasing, as opposed to, like right now, everything needs to be pre-approved. So the last one, there were some materials that Principal Getchell, for example, needed for staff for the beginning of school. It was delayed, not anyone's fault, it's just that we had to wait for the school committee meeting. So if just explaining what the potential item could be. If there is a threshold at which you want to know before, or you will always get these, even if it's 30 cents. You're always going to get these. But if we could bring you these, but order the items so that it doesn't slow down anything that's happening in the schools, So we're going to have a proposal for you of a threshold for your consideration.
Yeah, we can put it on the next agenda
Okay,
to have
that'd be
that
great.
discussion.
Thanks. So this one is for $1,500, and again, if you have any questions about it, they all say the reason for the adjustment at the top, but if you want more details, Assistant Superintendent Pruitt can answer that.
Any questions from committee members? Okay, so I will take a motion to approve the budget adjustment.
So moved, Percio.
Do I have a second?
Probably second.
All in favor? Thank you. Next item, a vote to approve professional status recipients. Dr. Cabral?
Thanks. So for those not familiar with the profession or what PTS or professional status might mean, that this is in the legislation, any certified teachers working in a role for 3 years at the end of their third full year with the principal and superintendent recommendation can receive what's called professional teacher status. It does bring with it some enhanced rights in collective bargaining, which is really important. But one thing that Easton does that does not really happen in a lot of districts, if any, is that we actually have a celebration for it because it is a cause for celebration. And it is a reception that we have before a school committee meeting. This year's is going to happen on October 9th at 5:30 in the Oliver Ames cafeteria. It's always really fun to see the people that had been hired 3 years prior there. Lots of colleagues show up to offer their support, and their family members are there, and there's a wonderful booklet that goes with it that the principals and other staff members put together, reflecting on the accomplishments of the educators in that short amount of time. And so it's a wonderful event, and we will be having that prior to the school committee meeting of October 9th. This is the list of the staff members that have been recommended for that, and they will be honored that evening.
And we're all invited to that. It's really, I don't know, Jim and Colleen, if you've ever, it's such a nice ceremony. And I have teacher friends in other districts who, when I talk to them about this, they're like, you do what? It's just, it's a really nice.
I have never heard of such a thing, and I love this. I completely want to steal this. No, that's absolutely, because it's
You don't
it's
have to steal
hard.
it, you can have it.
It's
nice.
a big deal to get professional status.
It
It's a huge accomplishment. So I would love to go to that.
Yeah, it's great.
What did you say the date was?
October 9th at 5:30.
So it's right before our next meeting.
Oh, great.
Any questions or comments? All right.
Congratulations
Yeah.
to those who are receiving it. There are, I don't know all of the teachers by any means, but there are some incredible teachers that we are very lucky to have on this list.
Yeah, it's really.
I'm sure they all are incredible teachers, I just don't know you all.
It's really exciting. So I'll take a motion to approve the professional status recipients.
So moved, Percio.
Second?
Proudly second.
All in favor? Great. Thank you. Schedule of payments. We approved warrant 018S. Public comment. Do I have any public comments tonight? Please state your name and address for the record. If you want to,
Please.
sure.
My name is Christy McDonough. I live at 14 Cedar Drive. Thank you for this opportunity to discuss the concussion and head injury policy. I have thought about what I was going to say and then rethought it because kind of went back to square one again. So bear with me a little. I'll be a little all over the place here. I've shared my concerns with school administration over the concussion and screening process for all our athletes. For those who do not know, I have 3 swimmers that are my children, all of whom are good at their sport, and we have been involved in several meets and practices for the last 15 years. I've seen every kind of head injury you can imagine. My question, I think, for the district is if you consider ski and gymnastics to be collision sports, what defines a collision sport? Because a gymnast could hit their head on a beam, which is serious, just as much as a swimmer can hit their head on the wall, or a skier can fall on the ice just as much as a swimmer or a diver could hit their head on the deck. I've seen every one of those situations. On top of that, we have a crowded pool. We have swimmers who have never been in the pool before in a competitive way. They crash into each other. For the last 4 years, there has been a head injury every season we have been involved in this sport. We do not have an athletic trainer on site at Massasoit. The coach is left to determine what's going on with their athlete. It just feels to me like this is a situation where we want to be equitable in providing the right services to all of our athletes, all of our student athletes. They all need to be concussion tested. Having a child right now who is a swimmer in college, she just completed her baseline concussion testing because it's mandated by the NCAA. And she said to me the other day, I really wish OA had done this. And I will say that I had inquired myself about the school administering a concussion test for our children, and the athletic trainer told me to follow up with my PCP on that. My concern is if you put this back into the hands of parents, they're not going to follow through, or there could be communication issues between what the trainer and the athletic department tells parents, and also, of course, what teenagers tell parents. So I think as a parent, I would rather you tell me that this is what I have to do, and if I want to opt out, I will opt out, although I cannot tell you of one swimming parent that would opt their child out. And to Ms. Prodler's point about how many athletes would actually then be impacted, I think that you bring up a valid point. A lot of these are kids that are already in other sports that are mandated to be tested. I can only speak to swim and dive, but off the top of my head, I think you might be incurring maybe 15 in total because all of those other students are already participating in sports that require it because of their collision or their contact sport. But my question just remains, what does the district do to determine it to be a collision sport? And I just would like you to think about that because, again, a gymnast hitting their head, it's the same thing as a swimmer. It's the same thing as a skier. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comments tonight? No? Okay. So we will go on to superintendent notes. Dr. Cabral?
Okay, just a couple of things. As I stated, Mr. Spagna has joined us. I don't think that means everybody should start calling him because he is getting situated right now. This literally was his first week. We already have a bunch of things under control, which is great, but we are also in some really important RFP processes. And so he's getting situated, and you will see him, and we will be having some meetings, but we're allowing him to kind of dig in right now. But we're very happy that he's here. I also want to, can't even read my own writing, I'm so sorry. I also want to just remind people, we have put this information out, but I want to remind people we had centralized registration for students to central administration, but with our reduced office hours and personnel, we are moving that back to the schools. However, residency checks, and that includes any changes of address, are still done in central administration. The laws about residency, homelessness, transients, newcomers are constantly changing. And so we want to keep that core of people that need to be trained literally sometimes on a daily basis about what those nuances in laws are, keep that to the central administrative staff as opposed to having to bring in people from 4 different schools continuously. The schools were very relieved to hear that. So if any parents have any residency or, as I said, change of addresses, that goes to central administration first. That way the actual registration can be done at the school, which is a past practice that we had. So we're going back to that for that portion of it. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Assistant Superintendent notes, Mrs. Pruitt?
Sure. Our committees are up and running. Our professional development committee, our STEAM team. Lauren attended our STEAM team committee meeting. Our evaluation task force committee is meeting next week. So our committees are all up and running and with schedules and dates that are on the calendar and ready to go. We are hosting, I met with our coaches, our instructional coaches, and our director of curriculum and instruction and EL as well as our 2 principals that fall under our Title I schools, which are Richardson Olmsted and EMS, Easton Middle School. And we are planning an intervention night, a Title I night for families on October 23rd, which is a Wednesday, from 6 to 7, located at Easton Middle School. So information will go out to all families. If anyone's interested in what the intervention program looks like in the 2 schools, they're more than welcome to attend. Like I said, that will be at Easton Middle School, but it will be for both schools. We have received our embargoed MCAS data, so just to be aware of that. We are expecting, I was on an accountability webinar this afternoon with the Department of Education for those reports to be released in late September. We're heading there. At the beginning of October, MCAS parent portal will open. So notification will be sent out to families on how to access the parent portal. It appears that unless requested, individual reports will not be sent home anymore, that it will all be through a portal.
Okay.
So that's interesting. And the benefit of that too is that parents will be able to track their child's data throughout the years. So instead of having to hold on to every report, I know I've lost all of mine, or it's buried somewhere. It's all in one place and it's accessible via the online. They will need their students' their child's identification number, which also we will be administering out to families for that purpose. And that's all I have for you this evening as well. If you have any questions.
Thank you. School committee notes, we can start with Colleen.
I just have 2 things. So I got to attend the Easton Tricentennial Block Party a few weeks ago. It was, first of all, just a great event. Kudos to the whole committee, to the Andersons, I think, who spearheaded that, and they were chairing that particular group. What an amazing turnout. Vendors, crafters, people from the community, bouncy houses, food trucks. It was just a really, really lovely day, and it made you really happy to live in Easton. So congratulations to everybody who was involved in that. It was great. And then also, as part of this, I get to be on the Human Rights Committee, and it looks like we're going to have 3 students who have expressed interest in joining the Human Rights Committee. So I owe them an email. I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow and make sure that they understand what the schedule and the requirements are, but I'm super excited to have 3 Oliver Ames High School students joining that really important committee for the town.
Great, thank you. Kelly?
Just a couple of quick things for me. So one is I had the chance to do my first of the parent nights. So just great to get in the classroom and get a chance to meet my son's teacher, and just continues to reiterate for me how much thought and preparation goes into those nights. I really just appreciate all of the educators who put a lot of thought into that and how they welcome families to it. I have to say, it didn't totally click for me that the BA kids get to have lockers until the excitement of it, and you must see my locker, and my things are in my locker, and
Don't tell any RO students. They do not think that is fair at all.
I am sure they don't. Meanwhile, my high schooler was like, you can have my locker. So it is pretty funny to watch the journey all the way through. But very, very, it is very cool to see, and it just reminds me what an incredible building that is and how much effort was put into it and the amount of pride. And I can only imagine that it is way easier not to have all those coats in the classroom and the bags and all the things. So really just appreciate how much that's also teaching them to be autonomous. I do have a request on behalf of some of the parents that I have spoken to, which is it would be amazing if, as things settle down, this is for Director Kopaz, we can recheck the bus times, because we're a good couple of weeks in and some of our buses are not even close to the times that were mailed out. So I don't know if there's an opportunity to redistribute bus times, because I suspect when things settle down, we just find out that the times aren't what we thought they were. But being a BA mom, I get a lot of BA moms who reach out to me saying, could I just please not stand on a street corner for 40 minutes? It would be awesome if you could just tell me the new time. So if there is a way to recheck that at some point a month in or something and redistribute times, I think it'd be really good. It's also really good for some of the kiddos who stand there for a long time in the morning, and keeping them occupied on a street corner. It's not the easiest task in the world. So I think once we get into the rhythm, it'd be really great if we could just distribute, like if we could check the times that they're actually coming and get new times out. That would be fantastic. So that's my ask, please.
Right.
And that's it.
Thank you. Lauren?
I actually have questions that were from superintendent notes and schools versus central office? Because isn't it all online?
It is. The only difference is that if they need to bring in documentation or meet with people, they need to go to the school, as opposed to, so if they have more than one child, for example, in different schools, they need to go to the different schools.
Okay. But that's it?
Yeah, because we put the whole process online.
Right.
And recently, so she's here. Director Perez and Director Ramus did a training with all of the 10-month and 12-month administrative assistants. And I went up to the training, we talked about it, they were very happy with it. They love that the two directors were able to automate this to make it accessible to any language. So they haven't seen it that way until since they had it in their buildings, and they were very impressed by all of the differences. So this is going to be a lot easier for them as well as the families.
And is it
Can I jump in?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everyone. They actually, if they are having trouble uploading the documents, they can email one email that will be shared by all the building registrars along with central office. And we support the uploading of the documents. And if you do not have a device or you need support with the website, each school will have a workstation to support the families with the registration in the main offices.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. We're setting up those.
And the pocket talks, which, Nurse Clark discussed earlier, for our families that speak multiple languages. If they need support in their native language, the pocket talk will be there in the main office to support as well. And we're hoping to get more folks around the district trained who already speak other languages for that human connection.
awesome? Thank you. Okay, thank you. MCAS data.
Yes.
Isn't that also available on Aspen?
It does get uploaded to Aspen, yes.
Because I was.
In Easton, but not in every district. Yeah, so this MCAS portal is through the Department of Education.
Got it.
It's not through Easton.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Because I was exploring Aspen.
Yes.
The other day, and I came across MCAS
Yeah.
data. So it was interesting to
Yes.
to look at MCAS through the years. Okay, so my updates are like Kelly. I went to middle school back to school night, and I was also very impressed and excited for the school year, and the excitement from the teachers was very apparent. They did a really nice job, so we're excited. And that's all I have. I also want to wish all of our Jewish friends a Happy New Year. So, which is this coming week.
Thank you. Jim?
Mine is short. We had a budget subcommittee meeting within the last 2 weeks. We now have a template for managing updates, so I will be the point of contact for the school committee to update you when we have that. I am meeting with Dr. Cabral on October 10th to kind of finalize any of the updates to populate that template for the next subcommittee meeting. And I do believe, unless Jackie corrects me, but Connor, the town administrator, Reed, will be at our next meeting to provide some updates, and I assume we can ask him some questions.
Absolutely.
So, yep. That's it for me.
Thank you. So I think everyone has taken care of my notes, which is great. So I will make a motion to enter into executive session. We will be returning to open session, and this is pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with open meeting law and review executive session minutes, March 19th, 2025, and June 12th, 2025, and pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for non-union personnel and with all units, A, B, paraprofessional, secretarial, custodial. And in my opinion, having this discussion in public will be detrimental to the bargaining position of the school committee. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Percy, yes.
Wiseman, yes?
Loomis, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Great. So thank you all very much for coming. It's nice to have an audience.
know.
Please feel free to come back every time. And we will come back to open session. Welcome back to the school committee meeting. So let's review the minutes of August 14th, 2025. Are there any comments or questions?
No, not for me.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
sorry.
Wait,
Oh,
is that the one you?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted the school committee
no.
to go first.
Thank you.
On page 4, just on comments that I made, discussion and vote to approve Conica contract. Dr. Cabral noted that they are removing over 100 printers. There were a good number over 100 instead of almost 100.
Okay.
And on page 7, 2 lines down, she noted that most members of the leadership team and not every. And then the last line of that section, we will keep the committee informed about positions that may be eliminated at the end of the school year, as well as vacant positions that will be refilled this year, because we didn't add any positions. We're only refilling ones that were vacant that need to be filled. That's all.
Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the Easton School Committee minutes of Thursday, August 14th, 2025 with the edits so noted. Do I have a second?
Percio, second.
All in favor? Thank you. And then we have the workshop minutes of August 25th, 2025. Find in my pile of. Any questions or comments on these minutes? No? All right, so I will make a motion to approve the Easton School Committee remote workshop minutes of Monday, August 25th, 2025. Do I have a second?
Percio, second.
All in favor? Great. And then I am going to make a motion to table the Easton School Committee executive session minutes of Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Do I have a second?
Percio, second.
All in favor? Okay. And finally, I will make a motion to accept the Easton School Committee executive session minutes of Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I will accept but not release these minutes. Do I have a second?
With noted edits.
With noted edits. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Percio, second.
All in favor? Thank you. Anything else, committee members? So I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Percio, second.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.